welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a video on reducing health anxiety because over the last few weeks, and I think from other people I've spoken to, and this is quite common, especially after going through a pandemic, I've noticed, to feel quite like, and I definitely went through like a really abusive relationship as well, and various other things, relationship issues. I've got friends that are in, without going into all of my issues, I've got friends that have gone through problems and stuff, so I think it's kind of along the realms of normal to have had some sort of time to rejuvenate. But I think there's a time when you can kind of be like aware of the balance between like being really insulated and really like within myself, and then basically giving time to other people and giving like, because I think sometimes when you give loads to yourself, for example, loads to other people, for example, in an abusive relationship, you might not choose to do that, but then it might suck a lot of like life out of you, if you know what I mean. You would then potentially withdraw as like a natural balance, you know, to try and like, you know, get back some of your energy or whatever and conserve your energy. um but then eventually the idea is to like learn through contrast. I've noticed, like, and I'm not saying like I've definitely noticed that it takes a certain amount of time for any person. You can't always put like, how long is a piece of string? You can't put a time limit on rejuvenation, and if that's something you need to do, especially if you're going through, everyone needs rejuvenation time, and I'm not saying you should like limit that time in any way. I'm just mean like when you are in these like bouts, when I've been in these bouts of like being tired and just like, basically I googled a lot, I mentioned a lot about, I've researched things like ADHD, and I do believe I'm on the spectrum for that 100%. Sociopathy, things like of that nature. They always say you can diagnose yourself as a sociopath even though you're actually not. Like, I don't think I'm a genuine sociopath, but I definitely have tendencies, but it's so common for so many people. So anyway, you can catastrophize and you can create this health anxiety around self-care, and it's kind of a natural swing back from like a really traumatic event, because obviously in life you do go through all these like things that happen, and it's like so natural to feel like a you have to swing back. And I look back, and one thing I will talk about is like looking at factors which have you know caused a swing back moment or a period of time. I'm lucky because I'm still kind of on this boat of like, I'm trying to run my own business kind of thing, which is still in the works. So I haven't really got like a 9 to 5 job to sort of like have to distract me with that sort of stuff as of now. But I went through a lot of lack of sleep. You know, we've gone through a pandemic, etc. Like I said, and to focus more on what you value, and basically building, the idea is building a better value life for like yourself and me. I mean, I can talk for myself, I can't really talk for you, but obviously you might want to like take some of this to your own life. um yeah, so yeah. And also something that's come up for me is basically wanting to accept uncertainty, because I think I've done a lot of research on things like narcissism, as you may have heard me rant about in other videos. And I mean, I think as much as that's valid, and that's not really relevant to this because I think that's something different, but also in life you can't eliminate uncertainty of people and friendships. If you have been traumatized in an abusive relationship, you may have this idea of you can't be, you have to like protect yourself against certain people, and I think that's part of building discernment in this crazy wave of life that we all tend to go on. But you can't eliminate uncertainty at the end of the day. And it's a waste of time, and apparently it's fruitless. It's and you have worse anxiety in the long run if you try and eliminate anxiety. I definitely think I've been sort of like on the autistic spectrum, where I feel like this has been an ongoing thing for me, to try and eliminate anxiety, uncertainty. And I think it's like it's partly natural. Do you know what I mean? But to kind of ride that wave of emotion and accept the uncertainties of life apparently is a more healthy way to go than kind of like create crutches and stuff, which could be, you know, catastrophizing. There's a whole host of things that can come from sort of like trying to distract from uncertainty. I think it's a level of distraction is fine, but if you're doing it all the time, like, and you can't handle uncertainty, you're gonna just want to hide by default, aren't you? I feel like. Um, some people also, if they have certain somatic experiences, they might kind of put it down to like a serious illness, or they might Google things that are more serious than maybe what they actually have. I've definitely had this. I feel like a level of like hypochondria, which I feel like might come across slightly invalidating, and that is not the idea. When I watched a woman, she was speaking about this, and I was like, I feel like she's being slightly invalidating of it can come across that way, and that's not what I want to be doing, because I think that validation is more important than minimizing something. I'm not trying to minimize. I'm just trying to like sometimes when you do worry and focus too much on one thing, apparently when you focus on something your brain creates more of it. So if you do kind of focus too hard on a certain aspect of yourself or a certain like thing that possibly you can't change, and also you feel like you might be like thinking that you have like some sort of illness or something that you might not actually have, or like, not to say you shouldn't get checked out for things like illnesses, like if you feel like you have some sort of illness, go to the doctors and get it checked out 100%, but it's when people start like obsessing over like certain things, and it's just sometimes it's like not even conscious. You can just get yourself in this mind frame of like health anxiety, of being like, oh well, like, you know, I shouldn't do this because like I might, you know, and you don't always put yourself into new situations for growth when you are worried. And it's about this like anti-fragile faith idea of like, if you want to put like a biblical standpoint on it, of like, you know, not allowing bad experiences to shape your reality, and kind of like having that faith that everything's going to be okay, kind of thing. Um, yeah, I think I basically said everything I need to say, to be honest. But yeah, just the idea of like feel feel the fear and do it anyway kind of mindset. So yeah, quite a short one. I'm glad I've managed to condense this a little bit because there was a few notes. But yeah, definitely something I'm gonna be doing. I feel like, so yeah, join me on the bandwagon if you wish. I feel like it's quite natural over lockdown. I'm sure everyone's had an extremely stressful time, and I think the balance is going to maintain it in some way. So if you can actually accommodate yourself to relax, good for you. But don't let the worries ruin your value of life. Continue striving for what you want in the best light. That's all I'll do. Bye.